Welcome back to KBIS Now. In our last segment, we talked about all the cool events that are happening in the KBIS NeXT bar in the KBIS NeXT area in the South Hall at KBIS 2016, and we kind of teased out that we were having portfolio reviews in that segment, and today we're going to dive a little deeper into those portfolio reviews that are happening at the show. My co-host Brian Pagel is with me, Vice President of the Kitchen and Bath Group for Emerald Expositions, and he's going to talk about how the portfolio reviews work. And we're very excited to have Carmen Hotchkiss with us today, Executive Editor for Meredith Publications, Special Interest Publications. Carmen, so glad you could join us today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Okay, so Brian, I think every designer in the industry knows the value of getting published and how it can impact your business when you are seen in a national publication, a regional publication. The list of editors we have participating in the portfolio reviews at KBIS 2016 is outstanding. And attendees, designer attendees, remodeler attendees, please take note. This is a fabulous opportunity to get your work seen in front of literally the best in the business. Brian, can you share who is going to be participating in the portfolio reviews at the show?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, from a publication standpoint, this is really the who's who of our industry. We're so blessed to have Better Homes and Gardens, special interest publications will be there, Veranda, Design Milk, Dwell, California Home and Design, Metropolis, Cottages and Gardens, Ocean Home and Luxury Pools, and of course Architizer. So we're very thankful to all these editors who are really donating their valuable time to come sit down with our designer and modeler attendees over the 3 days of KBIS.
Yeah, it's fabulous. So you may have guessed why Carmen is here with us today, because she is truly one of the editorial influencers in the kitchen and bath industry, and will be representing her brand, Better Homes and Gardens. And Carmen, I know there's several SIPs that you work with. Can you tell us exactly what magazines that you do work with?
Absolutely. Beautiful Kitchens and Baths, Dream Kitchens and Baths are our two signature kitchen bath publications. I also work with about 7 other luxury home titles, high-end decor magazines, and then a portfolio of about 30 other miscellaneous things that don't have anything to do with our conversation today.
Well, it sounds like you're busy, for sure. So, Carmen, we're going to put you on the hot seat. We're going to pick your brain today about the portfolio review process. And can you tell us, as an editor, what you would be looking for when you're reviewing a portfolio?
Absolutely. You know, great transformations are really the thing that always catch our eye. If you have before photos, those are really helpful because sometimes that moment where you're like, oh, it started there? Oh, you know, like that's something that we really, really enjoy looking at. A kitchen also with good visual interest. Lots of texture, lots of great use of material mixes. That's really important as we evaluate kitchens. Certainly, we're looking for NKBA guidelines that, you know, there's the safety and other best practices that designers are, you know, championing in the kitchens. And finally, really just the publishability of a kitchen or bath, which comes down to, like I said, a great transformation, a good story, good lessons. Usually some color is important, and how a kitchen or bath is going to photograph. We look at a lot of really stunning kitchens, way better than the kitchen I live in, that ultimately just won't photograph well, and so that's kind of the final layer that we're always looking for.
Right, so designers should keep that in mind if they're going to be spending that time with you at the show. I know that situation where sometimes an island completely covers up from a photographer's point of view. You can't see things, so you have to be fairly selective with the projects that you're going to pitch to an editorial outlet. So the sessions at KBIS are 10 minutes long. So attendees, you get 10 minutes to make an impact and talk to the editors about your portfolio. So what is the best way, would you suggest to the attendees, Carmen, to present that information to you? I mean, they can't present their entire career of of design projects. So how would you suggest they shortlist? And maybe that photography thing is a good starting point. But are there any other tips that you can give?
You know, I would also start with look through a couple copies of the magazine that the editor that you're going to be chatting with, and look at what kinds of kitchens and baths they publish. And to the best that you can, try to, you know, bring the things from your portfolio that seem the best fit for that particular magazine. You know, I'm going to maybe be looking for different kinds of baths than Dwell is going to be looking for instance. So kind of know your audience going into it, and that can help you narrow down what you bring. I would certainly stick with just a couple, 2, 3 maybe, of your best kitchens or baths. If they have befores, like I said, that's a great way to explain it. You probably want at least 4 or 5 photos of the kitchen from a couple different angles, maybe a couple detail shots. I don't need to see 40 photos of the kitchen, but I can't usually tell from one photo whether it has all the right elements. If there are some really interesting like storage things or things happening inside of cabinets, that's always helpful to us in figuring out whether there's a story here beyond how great the kitchen looks. And like I said, just try to keep it to about 4 to 5 images per kitchen, and we'll have a great time.
Okay. Okay, so great advice. So 2 to 3 kitchens, 4 to 5 shots, the story idea. Storage is always huge. We know that. Everyone's always trying to organize their lives on every level, so that's important too. So please think about that if you're applying for the portfolio reviews. So just out of curiosity, how would you rather see that, Carmen? Would you rather see that digitally, like someone sliding on an iPad, or would you rather see kind of a more traditional presentation?
I'm really happy to see it in whatever way, you know, is best for somebody to bring it. Although ultimately I find if it's a printed out thing that I can lay photos out next to each other and move things around and understand the relationships, and to me there's a little bit of a benefit in having the printed version if you have a choice.
Okay, great advice on that one. Now, would it be okay for example, the designer who is meeting with you to give you any kind of leave behind, or I know you don't want to be carrying a lot of stuff around the show, but what can they leave you?
Yeah, a business card, great. Maybe like one photo of the kitchen that I can staple the business card to, just so I keep the two linked in my head. Otherwise, I would say I go home from KBIS with a lot of stuff, and sometimes it takes me a few weeks to like go back to that file or that bag and start pulling stuff out. So the serious follow-up stuff, I would save until after KBIS. 2 weeks back in the office, and then a follow-up email to get the ball rolling again. Okay,
great advice, obviously. Now, can I go out on a limb and ask if this this type of process, doing this review, would put a project on your radar, and how would that kind of come to fruition in terms of actually getting published?
Yep, this is why I'm doing it, because I'm looking for great kitchens and baths that we maybe wouldn't have found otherwise. It's a wonderful way for it to be on my radar. I also, if a designer lives in a city where we have a field editor or a scout, I would probably try to get an introduction happening between those two people as well. Our scouts are great people for designers to know in their own cities. They can watch new projects as they come along. It's kind of a great long-term relationship to build.
Perfect. That, once again, fabulous advice. Now, Brian, did you have any other questions for Carmen about this process?
No, I really didn't have any questions, but I do want to remind everyone how to get involved. So the process is really pretty simple. In the next coming weeks, or definitely before the holiday, we'll be sending out an invitation via Eventbrite. You'll have an opportunity to go ahead and sign up for slots on the 19th and 20th from 10:30 to 11, and on the 20th it's from 1:30 to 2:30. It is a first come, first served basis. Once a slot's taken, it's gone. Equally, once you get confirmed in a position, it's important that you're there about 15 minutes beforehand to go ahead and prep and get ready. And make sure you stick to your allotted time. If you miss your time, unfortunately, I expect we're going to have such high demand, we're not going to be able to shift things around. So once you're confirmed, please make sure that's in your calendar because you won't get another opportunity. And really, since we have Carmen here today, I also want to just say thank you for sponsoring Best of KBIS. Specifically, we got Beautiful Kitchens and Bath, Traditional Home, and Dream Kitchens and Baths will be sponsoring Best of KBIS. And we can't thank you enough for your support.
My pleasure. It's a great program.
Yeah, and Brian, just quickly, there's another review process that's not quite the portfolio review process for designers. It's more about showrooms. Can you just give us a quick blurb on that?
Yeah, so kind of in version 2.0 of the showroom competition, we've gone a step further. We're going to actually have 2 members of the advisory board that will be there to help critique future projects. So we're actually going to have Chelsea Butler with KBB, and we're going to have Mia Nicholson and Tony Lutz from ISI, which they do a lot of renovation and have worked with groups like Ferguson and Kohler. So they'll be there and giving information and insights on projects you may have. Similar to the design portfolio review, there will be an Eventbrite notice sent out. We'll have limited slots available. They're 20 minutes per critique. I believe we have 3 of them. So it'll be first come, first serve. So if that's something that's of interest of you, you have a future project coming up, I would absolutely encourage you to take advantage of that audience.
Great. So 3 opportunities, 3 time slots throughout the show to do the portfolio reviews with 9 different editors from the publications that Brian mentioned. And yeah, this is just an outstanding opportunity for designers to get noticed and to get their work critiqued. So we would encourage everyone to watch your inbox, watch for the invite, and get registered because, as we said, fabulous opportunity. So I think that's it. Carmen, thank you so much for joining us, and we really look forward to seeing you at the show.
My pleasure. It'll be great fun.
Okay. See you in Vegas, and thanks very much.